Hello, my beautiful people. Hello, beautiful souls. How you feeling today? I hope you're feeling good. I'm sending you a lot of love, peace of mind. That's my number one. If I could send you anything, I wouldn't send you money. I wouldn't send you the love of your life. I wouldn't send you on a trip. I wouldn't send you any of those material things. What I would send you and what I am sending you is a path illuminated by God for your peace of mind. All that other stuff will come. Everything your heart desires, everything you want will come when I have peace of mind. Okay? I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. I've been through so much that I haven't even scratched the surface with you guys because I'm still healing. And so there are a lot of things that were still triggering me. Okay? And not in a way where I'd be crying because I did that too, but in a way where my mind is still trying to make sense of it, which I know that it cannot because there are things that are unexplainable at this specific time. God reveals all things. I definitely know that. I believe that. I trust that. And I'm learning that because I was one of those people, and I still am. I just learned where to exude that type of energy because everything doesn't call for it, but I was always one to go get it. If I wanted an answer, I went and got it. It didn't matter if it was from a book, from a person. I went to the source. And so in this season of my life that God has me sitting down and sitting still and learning to go within is very difficult for me. So difficult. But I am still learning and I'm doing it, right? And so this weekend I decided to go back out into the matrix. I haven't been out in the matrix in a long time. And anytime I do, I go to familiar places. Like for the past year almost, I've been in the house and at the grocery store, right? Those places, that's it. Or going shopping just for like incense, things like that. Nothing major, nothing new, nothing crazy. And if you know me, I am an outside person. I love the outside. I live for the outside. I trust the outside, right? But I haven't been. Last year, and probably the first month or two of this year, I would go and visit folks and stuff like that. But in this season, God was like, no, I really need you to sit still. And even up until last week, I thought I was sitting still, but sitting still has not been my forte. It's not even been in my vocabulary. But in this season, I am being obedient. I keep having to get taught some things though, because like I said, I don't know what being still is. Being still to me still means doing stuff. But God wants me to sit still. And what I am coming to understand, understand, and overstand that to mean when God is trying to do a great works within our lives is that He wants you to actually sit still. Don't do nothing. Lay down. Relax. Don't read a book. Don't listen to music. Don't watch a show. Hey, baby. Lucky Bailey. Come here, handsome. He across the street. But he doesn't want us to do anything but be one with our own thoughts. And it's difficult if your mind is like mine and it's been racing. It's difficult if you've had black magic or still are having black magic done on you. Your mind is confusion. Understand anything, and I say understand because you have to understand before you actually absorb it and understand and overstand where God is coming from, okay? So first we have to understand what that means. That means do absolutely nothing. And in our lives, it can be very difficult because we wear so many hats, right? You're a mom, you're an auntie, you're a father, you're a niece, you're a nephew, you're an employee, you're a boss, you're a daughter, you're a son. We wear so many hats. You're an Olympian, you're a singer, you're an actress, an actor, you know, you're a doctor. We wear so many hats. And we fill our days up with so much busy stuff. But only in stillness can we hear the voice of God. Only in stillness can we hear the voice of God. He may shout at us. That's when you hear that inside voice that be like, no. And you like, what? That's because you finna make a mistake. You're about to do something that is not going to hinder you from getting to the place that God wants you to get to, but it may deter you for some time. And that's what I experienced. But through that, I had to learn. And I am so grateful for it. 6 months ago, I wasn't as grateful because I didn't understand it. I didn't see the big picture, but I see the big picture now. Every day, the picture gets bigger, but we have to learn how to sit still. And I started telling people years ago, you got to do something for yourself. Years ago, years, I've been telling people this because I've been on the journey. At 25, I started my journey. 25, I started my journey. But 25, I also met a man. I met a man. I was dating someone already, but I met a man. And I did not know that us meeting would deter my life in a my mind is saying negative, but I overstand it. So I know it's not negative. It was part of my makeup. It was part of my life's path that I go through those things. I do also understand, and overstand that I made a decision around that time that also aided. It was already being done on me, but when I succumbed, when I gave in, when I went against who I was, we all know who we are. You can remember back before life just started changing your thoughts and your process and interfering with what God had already put in you. It happened to me. I remember. And I took the brunt of that burden because I always go back to that decision that I made that I knew went against me. I knew it. I knew it. It went against the core of me. It went against my soul. It went against me. I went against me. So before I was even introduced or got into depths about spirituality, I was like, you know what? That was me. I did that because when I made that decision, listen, that rabbit hole went fast. And it continued for 20 years, y'all. 20 years I fought for my life. I did. I really did. And so as I turned 46, I decided to go back out in the world. But God works He works in mysterious ways. And it's a beautiful thing to watch it unfold. But in order to watch it unfold, we have to sit still and listen. And so this past weekend, I went to a homegirl house. Homegirl, sister girl, known her for 30 plus years. But then as my sister and I are going, I wasn't gonna go because I didn't have a way there and I didn't know if my sister was gonna go, right? But she wound up going, so we wound up going together and I had such an awesome time. I really did. And it was so crazy that on the way there I started reminiscing because I haven't seen her in since her mom passed away. And for the life of me, I can't remember if I went to the funeral. I don't know if I went. I remember that. I remember her mom passing away. But in order for me to know why, I have to know where I was at and how old I was. And I don't know when she passed, so I can't figure that out. But on the way there, I'm reminiscing because we're going where I used to hang out at. And then it dawned on me that God brought me back to the very beginning. He brought me back to the beginning of my journey here in Georgia, because who we went to see was our first friends. And this is me talking out loud to my sister. I'm like, they were our first friends here in Georgia. They were our very first friends. They were our very first confidants. They were our very first. And as I'm sitting here thinking, because I can't remember when her mom passed away, I feel a little guilt about that. I really do. So I have to figure out when her mom passed. I do. But anywho, I just went to a whole nother side. But God brought me back to the beginning. She also happens to be a Cancer, just celebrated her birthday. And I see myself, I call her my little sister because she's younger than me. Her sister was our age. And that's who we hung out with mostly. But we all hung out together, but mostly we hung out with her sister, whom did not show up. I was a little disappointed, but there's a lot of things I didn't show up for. And if people understood the story, then they would understand why. So I extend that same grace and mercy, right? But on the way there, I am reminiscing and I'm super excited. I'm so excited. I'm getting excited as we get there. Needless to say, my trip into the Matrix was enlightening and fun at the same time and spiritual all in one, y'all. So I am sharing that with you because now I just had a revelation, and so I reveal what my thoughts just said. It is for me to understand, and overstand how far I have come. Not how far I have got to go, but how far I have come in a good way. I got to enjoy a game night. I was playing this first time ever. This like first for everything. And I'm so glad it happened with whom it happened with. But I also definitely understand myself a little more and the things that I can do and the things that I can no longer do. And I don't want to do. I don't. But my trip into the Matrix, y'all, was enlightening. It was fun. It was exciting. I wasn't nervous. I felt like me again. I felt like my whole self. Because I still twerked. I did. I did take Jello shots. Okay. I danced. I played basketball and beat a dude twice. He did beat me twice too, after I beat him twice in a row, because he just couldn't let it go. I seen old faces, new faces. I didn't feel no crazy vibe. And throughout the course of this outing, I did I did sit still in the midst of the party and check myself. How are you feeling? How does your heart feel? Are you feeling nervous? Are you anxious? Are you happy? Do you feel a specific vibe? And the answers was no. I didn't even take no jello shots. And I didn't even smoke anything until like we was about to go. I'm talking about at the party. Because I wanted to be in my sober mind, just so I can feel me. And by feeling me, I can feel the people around me. And it was good vibes, y'all. Towards the end of the night, now, we started playing spades. And I know my sister was like, if y'all don't quit talking, because I was sitting with two dudes who were partners who had just met at the last shindig. And my sister was my partner. I think we played two hands before they changed the conversation to spirituality. And so what I gathered from the conversation is that there really are levels to this. Because on one hand, the dude to my right, he was in the beginning, because he wasn't raised in a religion. And to me, even though I do believe that organized religion is very controlling, and it was done so intentionally from all those Abrahamic religions, those testosterone filled religions that try to obliterate the goddess energy, I do believe they served a purpose. But you got to weed through it. You got to have a strong mind, basically, to extract what is relevant and leave behind the controlling aspects of it. To me, organized religions are they are cult-like. They are. They are. They serve a purpose, definitely. And I wouldn't be who I am if I was not raised in the church. And I'm talking about wholeheartedly raised in the church up until 13 when we moved to Georgia. And it was difficult for us to get around and get a home church and all that stuff. But the foundation was already set. I was 13 when I left. God was already in me. And it was solidified when my dad was killed. I started praying every night for my mama to come home. I didn't even know that's what I was doing, but I would just, please just bring my mama home. Please, God. That was a trigger. That was the beginning of my codependency. That was the beginning of anxiety. But because I was a child and wasn't allowed to express it, I was stifled. I was shut up. I was, no, don't act like that. No, be a big girl. I was told all those things. And instead of being able to express it, I internalized it, and it came out in very aggressive ways. And has. And so now I'm learning to sit and combine that masculine energy and my goddess energy, which I have not sat in a long time. And I love it here. I do. So at the end of the night, the dude to my right was on the beginning of his journey because he was not raised in the church, so he had no religious upbringing, no nothing. And so he was talking about being so into the Bible and scripture, and I could see the beginning, and I'm going to say it, brainwashing, because he is of the mindset that if it is not in the Bible, then it does not exist, and that is so untrue. That is so untrue. So me and the dude to my left were talking to him and just trying to open up his mind a little bit to understand, understand, and overstand that the Bible is not the end all, the be all, just like the Quran is not the end all, the be all. You understand? And so at some point, I stopped talking to him, right? And it just happened gradually. I just withdrew and let him and the other dude continue talking. But then there was a part of the conversation where I stepped back in, and it was because the dude to my left said that he did not believe that God was an intervener. And that's where we differed. Now, we was all on the same page, him and I, up until he said that part. Up until he said that part, and I wanted to understand, understand, and understand why he thought that. If he believed all that we were talking about, then why at this point did he not believe that part? I wanted to know. And he said because, which is a lot of people's, I've heard this argument plenty of times, a plethora of times. Well, if God existed, then why do bad things happen to innocent children? Innocent children. Okay. And so I began by asking a question. First, I was like, okay, I said, I disagree with you. And I'm smiling while I say this. I disagree with you. I do believe God is an intervener. I do believe that. And so when I asked him if he believed in generational curses, he said no. So, okay, prior to me asking this question, I was trying to get my words out, and he kept interrupting me. And I'm pretty sure by this time he had drank some things. And at this time, I hadn't drank anything. I hadn't even taken a Jell-O shot. I was of sober mind, okay? So I am trying to get my words in edgewise, and he keeps interrupting me. And so I said, well, let me ask you this question. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't yell. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe in generational curses? And he said, now you finna tell me. I said, no, I'm not finna tell you anything. I said, just answer my question. Do you believe in generational curses? And he said, no, I don't. And I said, okay then. I said, well, check this out. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to go ahead and end this conversation, and I'm going to go get me a drink and something to eat, because you're not letting me get a word in edgewise. And if you don't believe in generational curses, then this conversation is and will not go anywhere, and it's not going anywhere. And he said, okay. But he sat there stuck, y'all. And I don't know. I didn't think I was being too masculine. I didn't think, because that conversation would have went a completely different way probably 6 months ago. Maybe even, well, definitely it would have been way different, because I would have been all in my masculinity and wanted to show him up. But in this season, I have learned to pick and choose. And you have to understand, and overstand that if someone's mind is already set, then bow out gracefully. He was already being combative. And I'm assuming something bad happened to a child, because it was raw energy. I could feel it. That's why I had to end the conversation the way I did. I could feel it. I could feel it was personal. There was no objectivity to it. There was nothing. And so anything that I said regarding generational curses or anything would have probably just inflamed him, because in his mind, children are innocent. And I have come to understand that all children are not innocent. They're not. Which is a concept a lot of us don't want to accept. But when they say We are all born in sin. We are. We are. Every last person that incarnated here was born in sin. And it's up to us to find a way out of it. And so I bowed out gracefully, which brought my evening to a close where I had to sit back. And actually after that, I got up and I played Connect Four. I played basketball. Maybe that's what I was waiting on. I don't know, because I really don't know. I was just going with the flow. And after I ended that conversation, it was like, okay, let's celebrate. I had a couple of Jello shots, maybe 3. I wasn't driving. I played hoops. I danced a little bit. I had a good time. I did. There is a way out.